Alright, so for the video on 10.2 lesson 2, we're going to talk strictly about a rhombus and how to find the area of a rhombus. So area of a rhombus is given by this formula, and it's broken apart into the two diagonals. Remember, they split each other in half, and if you look closely, one of the properties was that this is a right angle. So what we essentially are doing is we're finding the area of two triangles. The one on the top right, this one here, and then the one on the bottom left. And when we do base times height divided by 2 for both of those, and combine those formulas together and kind of manipulate the equation, we get diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. So find the area of a rhombus with diagonals of 10 and 14. This one is simply just, can you plug stuff into an equation? And we get 70. For the next one, let's find the area of this rhombus. The way this is labeled, and I would want you to interpret this the same way, if this 8 is labeled here, I would assume that's only talking about this, which means this side over here is 8, and this is 12 because that's 12. So my area is 8, or not, I'm sorry, not 8, I just went over that you double it. So I can't undo. So the area is 16 times 24 over 2. So 16 times 24 divided by 2 is going to get you 192. Alright, for the next one, find the area of a rhombus with a perimeter of 68 and a diagonal of 30. Okay, so let me draw a parallelogram, and I'll draw it as close to rhombus looking as possible. Alright, so since the perimeter is 68, that means I can split that into 4 equal parts of each 17. And now when I draw on my diagonals and they form right angles, so they're forming triangles, one diagonal is 30, which means it's going to split into 2 equal sections of 15 and 15, and the other one is going to be 2 equal segments of 8 because each one of these triangles is an 8, 15, 17 triangle. So my area is diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. So we multiply those and we get 240. Alright, now let's look a little differently. We're only given one of the sides. We're given that the side of the rhombus is 9. But I'm also given this 60-degree angle. So we're going to look first just at this triangle. Okay, since this line drawn down is a right angle, that makes that a 30, 60, 90 triangle, which means if that's 9, each of these are 4.5. and this is 4.5 root 3. Now if you need to set up the proportion and do 1 over leg, root 3 over leg, 2 over hypotenuse, please go ahead. After doing it for a while, you kind of get into a routine and know what the pattern is. So one of my diagonals is 9. My other diagonal is 9 root 3 because 4.5 plus 4.5, and then let's divide that by 2. 9 times 9 is 81 over 2 with a square root of 3. Now I've got 2 to try, and let's go ahead and get these started. The way this is labeled, that's 4. I'm going to say that that's 4. And if that's 12, this is 12. Now on a test we'll be specific. If we wanted one of these to be 12, we'd label it with some type of mark like this. But we're going to get rid of that because that's not the case here. So area is diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. And let's go ahead and multiply. We got 96. Over here we got a right angle. We have a 60-degree angle, so 30, 60, 90 triangle. So if the small side is 12, the other leg is 12 root 3, which makes this 12 root 3. So one of my diagonals is 24. The other diagonal is 24 root 3. And then we divide by 2. And we get, when we multiply this out, 288 root 3. And for our last problem today, let's go ahead and start solving. We have that segment's 3, which makes this one 3. So I have to find this diagonal. I have a 3 and a 4, but that doesn't make it a 3, 4, 5 triangle because the 4 is the hypotenuse in this case, because there's my right angle. So I have to do Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared. Let me undo that. 3 squared plus x squared equals 4 squared. 16 minus 9 is 5. So x is the square root of 5. Okay, so now let's go ahead and find my area. Diagonal 1 is 6 because 3 plus 3 times diagonal 2, which is 2 root 10. Oh, no, not 2 root 10. 2 root 5. I guess we'll start over from here. We got 6 times 2 root 5 over 2. And multiply that out, you get 6 square root of 5.